So I want to bring attention to you guys today on a topic that I think is very important, and I know that Lily, that you're going on your class field trip in a couple months to Philadelphia, so I wanted to kind of shed some light on an interesting monument. But first, I wanted to ask a quick question for the audience. What comes to mind when you guys think of kind of freedoms, like what symbolizes freedom in America, a monument that comes to mind?
Statue of Liberty.
Anything else?
The flag.
Yes, those are two big ones that most Americans think of when they think of freedom and spirit and hope. And I wanted to talk to you guys about one monument that I think is very important to America and its pastime, and that is the Liberty Bell. So today I'm going to be kind of talking about the history of Liberty Bell for a little bit. I'll be talking about the present day functions of the Liberty Bell, visitation, and a little bit more about the significance of the Liberty Bell. So first, not many people know, the Liberty Bell used to be named the Pennsylvania State House Bell, and they used to ring the house bell when they would gather the community or colonists to talk about news or gatherings. They would have weekly or bi-weekly meetings. They would constantly ring the bell, and that's how they would kind of communicate information to one another. Now, according to UWF Public History, colonists began to resent this bell because whenever the bell was rang, it meant that Great Britain must have passed a law that pretty much would delay anything that they're trying to do, any progressive movements that they're trying to make, and it would make their life harder. So colonists began to resent the bell a lot. Now they started changing, the bell kind of took a turn, had a different meaning. Now the bell started changed to the Liberty Bell. And when they changed the name to Liberty Bell, social activists and progressive groups kind of embraced the bell and wanted to be the forefront of their group. So abolitionists took the bell and decided that they wanted to see this Liberty Bell as a way to fight slavery and fight the evils of slavery. So they used the Liberty Bell in a lot of their public speaking, and they would constantly bring it up when they were doing their social movements. The women's rights movements made their own Liberty Bells when they were marching in New York, when they were trying to preach women equality. The Liberty Bell also stands for hope, equality, like I said, anti-slavery. So they would create their own bell, and they would march with the bell in the streets. And also, the Friends of Freedom is a Boston publication, as a newspaper publication, and they changed their name to the Liberty Bell as their annual publication. So a lot of progressive groups started running behind the bell, and they really embraced the new meaning and the new life and the kind of revival of the Liberty Bell, which used to be the house bell. Today there's complete renovation of the Liberty Bell. It is completely redone. There's now they call it the Liberty Bell Center, and it's beautiful flowers around it, and basically you could walk in with no admission fees, and you could get a whole condensed 2 or 3 hour history lesson on the Liberty Bell, and then you could see it for yourself when you walk in there. It's very clean, it's very secure. The only way, you just have to pass the metal detectors and you'll be in, and you'll be able to kind of embrace the history and learn more about the Liberty Bell and how it functions in America's pastime. The bell is located in 6th and Market Street in Philadelphia. So, Lily, when you and your classmates visit there, I hope that you guys take the field trip to the Liberty Bell. I'm sure that your teachers will bring you. I'm sure you guys will have a great time, and you could probably tell them 1 or 2 facts that you've learned today. And according to National Park Society, they definitely advocate that you avoid visiting the bell at touristy times. So pretty much from 12 to 3, you want to avoid going there because it becomes very busy, and it's kind of very hard to take in the significance when there's a lot of pushing and shoving, a lot of action going on around you. They advocate that you kind of take your time, go earlier in the morning or later in the afternoon to really embrace and take in America's pastime and history. And like I said before, it is completely free. So I want to talk about a little bit more significance, maybe why you should visit. You know, they've heard me talk about it, but why you should take the time, take the trip to visit the actual site. For you, you also have a sister that goes to UPenn, so you guys and who lives in Philadelphia, I think it'd be great for you guys as an audience to take the time, take the trip, make it a weekend trip, and to visit Aaliyah and Steve and kind of go and see what other monuments and symbols you could find out in Philly. I think it would be a great trip. And it's important to Pennsylvania too, because a lot of social movements, a lot of progressive movements did start in Pennsylvania. They kind of ran on action back in the late 1700s. So I think in Pennsylvania, I think everyone from Pennsylvania, they should be prideful of where they come from, and I think that would be a terrific spot for a field trip or just visit on your own. And I think in general, the Liberty Bell is extremely important and should be talked about in America's, when you think about kind of monuments that symbolize freedoms and hope, because it should be talked about more often, because this bell is extremely important and it just symbolizes everything that America is and wants to be in its people and in the future. Now, according to publication U.S. History, when I spoke about the abolitionists kind of embracing that Liberty Bell, in that publication they really talked about and harped about kind of community and why the abolitionists really wanted to further develop themselves and embrace the Liberty Bell culture. Are there any questions? Yes?
So, why exactly is the Liberty Bell cracked? How did that happen?
The Liberty Bell was cracked on its first ring, actually. On the first ring, when they bought it, it wasn't sturdy enough and it cracked, and they had two blacksmithsmen come in and redo it twice, and it kept cracking, so they left the crack in there because it kind of, they didn't want to fix it anymore. It symbolized everything, that the freedoms and the hopes, so they want to leave it there because it kept cracking.
Interesting.
So it had two purposes. Any other questions?
Do you have to pay to see it?
You don't. It is completely free, and that's great because it's completely free. They want people part of the community to go and see what might be right in their backyard that they might not know about. I know before I did my research on the Liberty Bell and before I visited that I didn't know too much about it, and afterwards I think everyone should definitely take the time and to learn more about their pastime. But thank you for listening. I have one more question.
Does it still ring today?
It does not still ring today. I don't think they want to damage it anymore. So it's just strictly a monument and just for sightseeing only. But thank you guys for coming, and I hope you enjoy the presentation.
Nice job.
Is that good?
It was very good. I don't know if I could.